Thank you. Appreciate that. It's very nice of you all. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Friday anime stream. Don't know if you noticed. Before that, special little trivia card. Just throwing some fun stuff up there for everyone to play around. Hey, all. Yep. Someday I'll get the audio right on the first try. Maybe someday. Probably not. Definitely not this week. We got some audio stuff to play around with this week. Hey Ginger, JJ, Jaden, Solari, good to see you all. Saw Jay on here, Jay Biz, a little while ago. Hope you all are doing well. How has your week been? As I set up for I'm going to do something a little different format-wise tonight. I'm going to start with something I love. Of course, Jay always beats us all into the stream. I think he's got something going on there. I think there's some some alert on his phone. He's got like the brain thing, right? As soon as I go live, he's just right there. He's just right there. Oh, that's interesting. My computer is very unhappy tonight. Ooh, I'm all locked up. That's cool. Am I still here? I hope I am. Oh, you watched the cell collection video. Cool. I still have those cells around here somewhere. Uh-oh. Hold on. Uh-oh. This is interesting. I cannot see my OBS. I cannot Alt-Tab either. 1 second. I will try to pull things up, see if I can get things to work. Boy, this is weird. Sorry, my computer is just locking up on me. Am I still live? Can people still see me? I hope so, because I sure can't see anything here. Oh, there we go. Okay. I now have a little right-click window in the middle of my screen, just forever on everything. Good. Okay. This is going well. I wonder if I can... Not really. That's kind of dead. Okay. This is interesting. I should have rebooted before I did all this, apparently. Because my computer is just... Yeah, exactly. Computer just doesn't want to do anything. So I wonder if I pull up... Oh, I can't even... Wow. The start menu isn't working. Yay. That makes it easy. So how are you all doing? While I wait for my computer to figure itself out. Any new anime? Anything you guys are enjoying? I'm caught up, as of today, on My Life as a Villainess. All Routes Lead to Doom, which I'm enjoying tremendously. Lots of fun stuff there. It is definitely a light comedy. Some drama here and there, but very much in the spirit of light comedy. Ginger, you're watching Key to Metal. Yeah, I saw you on Twitter. That is a thing. I know, JJ, you're watching Key as well. You're watching Bakuman over 3 days. Wow. More than I could do, Jaden. Nothing against Bakuman, but that's the kind of thing I can do. Well, the thing is, I can get to Task Manager. Well, I thought I could get to Task Manager. Now I can't get to Task Manager. Task Manager is locked. That's cute. Yeah, Task Manager is locked. Yay. Yeah, Key is definitely a rated M anime. Well, I guess not. Well, no, not really M. Well, I mean, there's some nudity there, definitely. Some strong nudity. Adult themes, I would say. Yeah, I can't Alt-Tab. Task Manager just does that. Wow. Let me see if I can... Okay, I can do that. Now, can I restart that? Okay, there we go. Okay, I restarted Task Manager, and I think things are happier now. Okay, good. Yes, things are happier. So hopefully I can pull up my thing and I can move over to things I love. In fact, I might have this already up because I was playing around with this earlier. Doesn't look like it. That's all right. So we'll see if I can get there while we're talking. You're trying to use Mal? Nice. I'm actually using analyst.co as well. I like analyst a lot. So definitely a question of just kind of what you like. So right now I'm using both of those, but you know, I gotta make sure that is muted. I said muted. Can I just mute it? Yeah. Play. Cool. And then I can start doing some fun stuff here. I need to find a good spot so I can start this. That might be the problem with what the show I'm going to show is that there are so many different versions of what's going on that it's complicated. It's very complicated to talk about. I definitely recommend Analyst. I just like the way it's organized. I like the fact that it's not as score heavy. I like the fact that you can create a little like playlists to the stuff you like. But again, it's not not the kind of thing where I think one is objectively better than the other. It's more just kind of what you do or don't like. I used to keep a like you, Jaden. I used to keep I had a web page where I just pasted in all of the anime I'd watched, but ultimately, folks had trouble following that. So Mal made sense. My Life as a Villainess was a lot of fun. I would definitely, if you're looking for some a light, fun not adventure, but a light, fun comedy series, Villainous is definitely the one. I have exactly 1 rating on Mal, so take that as you will. Just like you, JJ. All right, let's see if we can do this. Not like that. Like that. There we go. We can be able to. Nope. Yeah, I can do it that way. Sweet. All right. I'm gonna talk about something I love. So 1 moment, please, while I talk about something I love. This is a series of videos where I talk about stuff that I love, and this is one of them. His and Her Circumstances, an anime TV series from the late 90s, directed by the legendary Hideaki Anno. Well known for his weird psychological trippy anime series Neon Genesis Evangelion, whereas this is a high school romantic comedy. And boy, is this an interesting show. Boy, is this... So, you know how sometimes you watch a show and like it's a really good comedy. Like it's a really, it does everything a comedy should do. Sometimes you watch an action series and it's got all the action you want. Sometimes, drama, and it's got all the drama you want. And then this is something that anime seems to do a lot. You'll watch a show that kind of does all of that. Like there's drama and romance and comedy and just everything all in the same show, and it all seems to fire on all cylinders. And that, for me, is His and Her Circumstances. It is about this young woman named Yukino Miyazawa, who you see there in the center, who is the princess of her high school. She's perfect. Everyone loves her. No problems, no issues. The complexity being the fact that things are not all as they appear in her personal life. She's actually very much constructed this persona of hers to be her, to look good for everyone. And she is getting good grades. She is helpful. She is being all the things she should be because that's what she does to get approval and to be liked. And so very early on in this show, it deals with this question of this is how she wants to feel. She wants to feel loved. She wants to feel, emotion. And yes, this is the thing. This is what the show is like a lot. You'll notice as I'm skimming through here, you'll see a lot of different art styles. And that is very intentional. This show is many different things all at once. It is having a lot of fun with anime as a medium, very, very intentionally. And it explores the fact that Yukino is doing all the right things, not for the right reasons. She's doing it for external validation, and fundamentally, that external validation does not bring her the satisfaction that she thinks it will. And then she meets this young man, Arima, who is another student who transfers into her class. He's not from another school, but he classes switched around, and he's now in her class. And he's actually doing better than she is. In fact, I think, hopefully I can find a little image here of how Yukino thinks about this. That's pretty accurate. So Yukino's view. And this is what Yukino is like at home. She's very much a kind of a slob and a relaxed person. And this is all episode 1 stuff, just to be clear. I'm not spoiling anything. And Yukino has this interesting sort of internal dilemma, and then has to explore that, and does that in the context of school. As a result, his and her becomes this school life story. And often when we hear that, we think harem romance, and that's not what His and Her Circumstance is. Instead, it's a relational series. It's very much shoujo, but it is about multiple characters and their relationships with each other. The relationships tend to be pretty much one-on-one. Like there are no love triangles here, really. In fact, none at all that I can think of. Well, there's one relatively briefly. But these are characters exploring what it's like to have relationships in school, and especially since most of these characters have not had relationships up to this point. And it is explored with great gusto and energy and fun, where you'll get just these wonderful quiet moments between the characters, where they're just kind of exploring things, and then just some wonderful wild comedy as they're playing around with what they're going to do after school. His and Her Circumstances will turn on a dime. It will just jump from comedy to drama to romance, but it never feels unnatural. It never feels too quick. It feels like it is respecting you in the sense that it assumes you can follow along. Like, you are not so dumb that you need to wait through a long sequence of transition to go from a romantic scene to a comedy scene. They can kind of jump and you can follow along. And I had no problem doing this. I think it did a really good job. And what amazes me about His and Her is how well this works. Like, how much I identified with Yukino and Arima and much of the other characters, even though they are nothing like me. I was not a Japanese high school student. I didn't face the same pressures. I didn't do the same things they did. But they managed to make you understand those characters at a very deep level, despite being only a 26-episode anime series. And there are quite a few characters. You get to know quite a lot about them. And it's just kind of everything. You get it all in one show. Beautifully animated, beautifully drawn, with just a great respect for the medium, and a great exploration of the medium, where just you can have wacky, crazy things happening. It will sometimes switch to manga. It is great. It's very odd. It's very unusual, and that is its strength, is that this is in some ways peak anime. This is an anime series that is using all of the tools of anime to tell its story, to get you involved with the characters, to make you, just sucked in and make you laugh, make you cry. There are moments in His and Her Circumstances that I can remember very, very vividly, despite having watched it many, many years ago. It's a lovely, lovely series. And so much of the time when I'm recommending things, I'm recommending things because of... jump back a little bit. I'm recommending things because I say, if you're an action fan, this has this kind of action, or this kind of mecha, whatever. His and Her, I recommend almost unreservedly. Now, obviously, it's a relational show. It's more about, characters interacting. There are no giant space battles. There's none of that stuff. But I think this is the kind of show that pretty much, that has the potential to work for pretty much anybody. Again, it might not work for you. That's fine. But it's really, really lovely. So yeah, His and Her Circumstances, aka Karekano no Kanojo, I believe, or Karekano is as it's popularly known for the manga and the anime. Both manga and anime are available. The anime was originally licensed and released by Right Stuff some years ago. You should probably be able to find copies of it on eBay and such. And otherwise, it is around. So it's a classic. It was a very well-respected manga when it was adapted into anime, and then the anime has been considered to be a very impressive work of animation in and of itself. So that is His and Her Circumstances, and I hope you found it as much fun and enjoyable and honestly as touching as I did. There we go. So just wanted to let you know about that. Thought you guys would enjoy that. I should, I'm just going to do it this way. Move things back around a bit. Move things around. Which isn't wanting to move around for some reason. Is it caught on something? It's caught on something. I have a cable. 1 second. Nope. Okay. That's going to have to do. Okay. I think I'm back to where I normally am, more or less. A little off. That'll do. Okay. Behind the scenes, exactly. Very, very exciting. All right. So I can close that. Yeah, I thought I'd kind of get that out of the way in the sense that it's kind of nice to kind of nice to get my passion expressed, right? Thanks, Jaden. I kind of like it too. All right, let me see here. That's that. You know what? Before we do the news, I think I want to do a giveaway. I think I want to do a giveaway to everyone on here. So let me pull up wherever the heck I put the thing. There it is. I actually named it the right way too. So I have right here, speaking of shoujo, Volume 1 of Fruits Basket. The big old release. So this is... Does it say? I don't have page numbers in manga anymore, which kind of annoys me. There's one. Hold on. Page number somewhere. I saw I put page number. There's like one page number. Wait, 390. Wow. Almost 400 pages of Fruits Basket right here. I'm going to send to somebody who guesses the genre correctly. So you get, our little protagonist there. Isn't he handsome? No, I'm sorry. Isn't she pretty? That's her mom. Sorry. Thought that was the blonde guy. Anyway, so yeah, this is going to somebody. It is more or less. I mean, it is in pretty much mint condition. Like I keep my things, in very nice condition. So there's no issues there. And I'm going to give that to whoever can guess the genre. So I have my die. I'm going to go ahead and roll that now. And I cannot read that, so I'm going to re-roll it. I cannot even read that. I'm going to re-roll it again. That's kind of... man. There we go. Sorry. Kept rolling on a mushy side. So we have a genre. Give me, in the chat, if you would, whatever genre I rolled. And whoever guesses gets it. Jaden, congratulations. That was quick. Mecha is indeed the genre. Good job. So, Jaden, if you could please PM me with your mailing address, I will shoot that right out to you. That was quick. Sometimes it works that way. And before I go any further, I've learned to label I sadly do not have a lovely assistant to take care of all this stuff for me. So now I know who that's going to. That's off on the side, and that will go off. You can PM me on Discord, YouTube, Twitter, wherever you find me. You can also email me as well. More 3D printed materials on the table. Ooh, can you see? Yes, there is. Let me switch that back, and I'll show you. So something I've been playing around with. These are sort of roads, basically, for tabletop gaming. So 3D print these, and you can clip them all together using these little slots. You just have roads go all over, and there's your curves and all that kind of stuff. There's a recent Kickstarter with a bunch of these roads. I've been 3D printing those out as an experiment. And way in the back is this sort of a Made in Abyss style thing. It's this stone well with chains on it. I don't know how well you can see the chains around that rock there. So there are all these chains leading down into this pit. And so the idea is you have your adventurers, they come there and they can hear these horrible groans and these clanking chains from underneath this pit. So they have to go down there. Maybe a tentacle, comes out of here at them, and they have to go down and fight whatever is deep in the pit. So it's a 3-section print. Each piece just prints. They have these slots and these like triangular studs, and they all go together. So that was a fun little test print. Obviously needs a paint job, but you get your thing. So yeah, playing around. I don't know if you can tell how dusty the table is. The reason for that is, I don't know if you'll be able to see this. That was today's job, was making these. So these are 6 more bookshelves for the shelves over here. So I'm going to be, whoops. Wow, oh, sorry. Things are going everywhere. Yeah, so I'm going to replace that bookcase with those shelves once I've stained them, and that'll be good to go. So, yep, having fun with that. That was this afternoon. Just, I had all the lumber, so it was just, screwdriver, and jigsaw to cut out all the handles, and a lot of sanding. These take a fair amount of work, but hey, it'll be nice to have those nice and stable and not like all sagging like crazy. We'll see. I also am thinking of, I have all that space on the top of the shelves that I'm not using, and obviously I'm pursuing minimalism, but I want to think about something I can put up there that would be kind of interesting. Now that I'll have like a stable space up there, I'm trying to think of something that would be fun. Maybe something lit up as well would be kind of cool. So I'll think about that. Think about something that I could throw together to be visually stimulating and visually interesting. Kind of like the little flame lights. Maybe I'll have a bunch of flame lights up on the top. Who knows? Yeah, exactly. When Tokyo Magnitude 8.0 happens, I'll be good. Actually, I won't be good because those are not very stable. But yeah, I mean, don't worry, they're stable. I'm fine. But okay. Do I hear that? And of course, this is also when my tablet decides to stop working. No, I want you there. And I want you like that. Okay. I think we're all good. And my microphone is on, so that's good. Hello, and welcome to the latest anime news for the week ending June 13th, 2020. We start this week off, as usual, with a couple of exciting new anime announcements. First up, the official website for Hiroyuki Takei's Shaman King manga revealed this week that a new anime adaptation is in the works. This makes me so happy. The television anime plans to adapt all 35 volumes of the manga's new complete edition, which will begin print publication later this month. The website also announced that the first 2001 anime adaptation will begin streaming in Japan on the full Anime TV and Bonbon TV services. The original Shaman King manga debuted in Weekly Shonen Jump magazine back in 1998. The series then abruptly ended in 2004, but a reprinting of the manga in 2009 added a new, true ending. Takei then launched a new arc for the Shaman King manga in 2018, titled Shaman King the Superstar, which is still ongoing. The new anime is set to premiere next April, as in a year from now. So fans or Student B fans, go check out the cool preview video for the new series and start catching up on the manga. You have 35 volumes to go. Meanwhile, mangaka Hiro Mashima, creator of a little manga series you might have heard of called Fairy Tail, announced this week that his Eden's Zero manga is getting a television anime adaptation. No further details have been released yet, but he asked fans to, quote, stay tuned for incoming updates, end quote, so that's what we'll have to do. And in case you couldn't tell, it's from the Fairy Tail guy, it's from the Fairy Tail guy. The manga launched in Weekly Shonen magazine in June 2018, and Kodansha Comics publishes the series in English and describes the story as follows. At Granbell Kingdom, an abandoned amusement park, Shiki has lived his entire life among machines, but one day Rebecca and her cat companion Happy appear at the park's front gates. Little do these newcomers know that this is the first human contact Granbell has had in 100 years. As Shiki stumbles his way into making new friends, his former neighbors stir at an opportunity for a robo-rebellion, and when his old homeland becomes too dangerous, Shiki must join Rebecca and Happy on their spaceship and escape into the boundless cosmos, because it's shonen. Why not? The manga's 8th English volume shipped just this Tuesday, and the 10th Japanese volume will be published later this month. So, be interesting to see quite how they adapt that and the pacing of it. We'll see. For anyone looking for something short and cute to watch right now, Toei has you covered. Toei's Japanese Tokusatsu YouTube official channel began streaming a short anime this week based on the ongoing Tokusatsu series Mashin Sentai Kiramager, the 44th entry in the classic Super Sentai series. The new original short anime is a spin-off of the series set in a world inspired by Japanese folklore, thus the little samurai guy. Titled Mashin Old Tale Theater, the short anime is described by its website as full of playfulness, enjoyed by the whole family, including children. It features classic Japanese folk tales reenacted by chibi versions of the Mashin, which are the battle vehicles used by the Kiramagers in the original series. Maybe the concept will catch on, and we'll get Chibi Gundam Theater next. We can hope. The first episode is now streaming for free on Toei's Tokusatsu YouTube channel. It is region locked, but if you have a good way to watch Japanese YouTube content and feel like watching cute mini mechs act out Japanese folktales, check it out. Yeah. Let's see here. Last new series announcement this week isn't an anime, but it's still pretty notable. It was announced this week that Amazon is developing an English language live action adaptation of the Promised Neverland manga. That one right there. The series is set to be produced by Amazon Studios and Fox 21 Television Studios. Two of the main creators behind Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse will be working on the series, with Megan Malloy writing the pilot script and Rodney Rothman directing and co-producing the series. Rothman commented on Twitter about the announcement, saying, quote, excited to be adapting the scary, soulful, hopeful, promised Neverland. I met the two creators in December in Tokyo and fell in love with the spirit behind their project, end quote. The series will also be co-produced by Masi Oka, who also worked on Netflix's live-action Death Note. Oh. And the theoretically upcoming Hollywood Attack on Titan film. Oh. Considering the track record so far of Western live-action anime adaptations, we should probably wait and see before getting hopes up too high. A Japanese live-action film adaptation of the series is also currently in the works and is set to debut in December. Maybe the English series producers can take some cues from the film if that turns out well. The original Promised Neverland manga launched in Shonen Jump magazine in August of 2016 and had entered the climax of its final arc last summer. The anime adaptation premiered in January 2019 and has a second season forthcoming, though it was delayed until 2021 because, you know. Now, online event announcements have become a staple news item lately. Are all the original OnCon attendees feeling like trendsetters yet? But another summer mainstay event is now making the switch to online. Otakon announced today that they'll be hosting a one-day online streaming event on Saturday, August 1st. The event's described as a full day of interviews, panels, builder workshops, music, and gaming events that'll be split across several different channels depending on content type. There will also be special appearances from some of the guests that were set to attend the in-person con. Details on which ones have yet to be announced, so if any of your favorites were set to attend Otakon, keep your eyes peeled for updates. Good news that not all of that stuff is being completely canceled. The event has also reopened program submissions for the online event, noting that they want to maintain Otakon's precedent of being for fans and by fans, even in the online format. They also plan to offer many other ways for the community to contribute with photos, short videos, memes, and challenges. Oh, memes. Great. The promo video for Otakon Online explains that they wanted to do something to help raise everyone's spirits among all of the cancellations and isolation. And as we've experienced firsthand here, online community events are certainly a good way to do that. Otakon's social media and the Otakon Online webpage will continue to be updated with new information, obviously, so watch for the updates and look forward to more content coming up, hopefully, if all that works out. Meanwhile, Bandai Namco Arts and anime studio 8-Bit announced this week that they have entered into a business partnership with the goal of focusing on producing animation-based video works and related content. Bandai Namco plans to make use of 8-Bit's animation production resources to produce, quote, high-quality hit content, end quote, which really should be the goal of any content creator, and 8-Bit plans to take advantage of Bandai Namco Art's production, planning, and networking abilities, like anyone would want to. The partnership's first project will be the upcoming The Slime Diaries. That time I got reincarnated as a slime anime series based on the spin-off manga of the same name. That anime is set to premiere in April of 2021, so we'll have to wait a little while to see that. They say it's going to be so we'll have to wait a little. Anyway, more anime is always a good thing, so here's to lots of success for the new partnership. Let's see here, what else? Now, has anyone been feeling like they just don't have enough places to watch anime lately? In the rare chance that that's the case, or if you're just wanting a 24/7 stream of anime to broadcast into your brain at all times, Cinedigm has got you covered. This week, they launched the ConTV Anime Network, a linear streaming and advertising video on demand service broadcasting Japanese animated films and series. Cinedigm describes the new network as featuring, quote, 24/7 programming of anime content for curious newcomers and ardent anime enthusiasts alike, focusing on a diverse range of anime genres, spanning from cyberpunk and the supernatural to tense dramas, epic fantasy sagas, and everything in between, end quote. In other words, everything. They plan to offer viewers a wide selection of both popular series and hard-to-find favorites, quote, presented in English or with dubbing, end quote, which seems redundant, but I think we'll know what they were getting at there. In any case, if you're looking for a favorite that hasn't been available on other streaming services or just feel like a change of pace, check out the new Con TV Anime Network. Now, Japan's Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communications released its 2018 Analysis of the State of the Expansion of Broadcast Content Overseas recently. That's a catchy title, where it reveals the breakdown of broadcast content exported from Japan. Now, unsurprisingly, anime is the largest genre by far, dominating both exported broadcast content and program rights sales. Anime accounts for 81%, that's the blue, of exported broadcast content and 82% of program rights. Even knowing that anime would account for the majority of Japanese overseas broadcast content, though, those percentages are downright impressive. Dang. Also, unsurprisingly, internet streaming comprises the largest share of the type of medium at 33.5%, followed by merchandising rights at 31% and broadcast rights at 23%. Notably, internet streaming rights have seen more than an 8-fold increase from its amount in 2013, so only 5 years prior to that report. The last category I touched on was division of exports by world region, which you all can probably also guess. Asia tops sales for both broadcast and program rights, accounting for more than half of both. North America follows at around 30%, and then on to Europe at around 10%. Keep it up, Asia and North America, and here's to lots more anime being exported overseas in the future. Let's see here. Now, if you have any brilliant anime pitches burning a hole in your brain, you'll need to submit them to someone other than Studio Bones. The anime studio, that logo isn't visible at all. The anime studio released a public statement this week, making it very clear that they do not accept unsolicited ideas or suggestions from the general public to avoid any unfortunate disputes or controversies that may arise from any coincidental identicality or similarities between the submitted ideas and intellectual property originally developed by Bones Inc. End quote. Now, the statement is possibly related to the tragic arson of Kyoto Animation last summer. The suspect, who was formally arrested just a couple of weeks ago, claimed that he started the fire because KyoAni stole his novel. So probably trying to get around that or avoid that in future. Bones goes on to clarify that if anyone does still submit ideas or proposals to Bones after the statement, it'll be assumed that they agree to a list of conditions, including that Bones is not expected to consider, reply to, or return the ideas, and is not liable for any sort of compensation should there happen to be similarities between a submitted idea and a Bones IP. The last condition listed makes the point especially clear, and I quote, "Any ideas or proposals submitted as hard copies via post or courier shall, as a general rule, be discarded unopened," end quote. Now, in fairness, this is a very common thing you see at magazines, editors, things along those lines. They end the statement thanking readers for their understanding and cooperation. Again, this is a very standard, legal thing. So not too surprising. I think they're just sort of clarifying. Now, the war against pirated manga content has continued on for quite some time now, and new strategies are arising for combating the spread of illegal material overseas. Japan's Content Overseas Distribution Association, an organization that aims to reduce piracy and encourage the international distribution of Japanese content, have begun posting a set of special anti-piracy manga on their website this week. Yes, anti-piracy manga. The manga are part of the Manga Anime Guardians project, which was founded by Koda and Tokyo Otaku Mode back in 2014 to protect anime and manga content overseas. There are 16 total anti-piracy manga, and 4 will be released each Friday until July 3rd. In addition to the Japanese version, each manga will also have an English version, which is nice, and which probably makes more sense in the context of discouraging overseas piracy, as well as a video version with music accompaniment, so presumably just, static images moving around, I don't know. Coda also plans to publish print versions of the manga as well as digital. Now, this week's crop of manga were submitted by Akira Akatsuki, the creator of Medaka Box, Adichitoka, Noragami's mangaka, Rie Arai of Yotabanashi, and Amitsu, who created Ran, the Peerless Beauty. The link to the website where all the manga will be posted is down in the video description, so give those a read sometime and keep supporting your favorite creators however you can. Piracy is a problem. Now, last up this week, while the canon ending to the animated specials of the Gundam vs. Hello Kitty project was Amuro Ray and Hello Kitty discovering peace and friendship, the merchandise battle between the fan bases was not quite as nonpartisan. Throughout the campaign, started in 2019 to celebrate the 40th and 45th anniversaries of Gundam and Hello Kitty respectively, fans were encouraged to give their full support to their favorite franchise to see which would reign supreme monetarily. Well, this week the final results were announced and the Gundam fans triumphed. I'm actually kind of surprised. The finale event for the historic battle was supposed to take place in April with special custom popcorn machines to be themed around whichever side won the battle. Thankfully, even though the event had to be canceled, Gundam fans can still grab some popcorn to celebrate their victory, and I suppose Hello Kitty fans can have some popcorn too. The beautiful Gundam popcorn machine will now be stationed at Gundam Base Tokyo for a limited time, starting today. The machine plays both Fly Gundam, the themed original Gundam, and a number of lines spoken by Amuro Ray, as well as dispensing tasty victory popcorn. The grand battle might be over, but the two franchises are still going to use what they've learned and keep working together. The Versus site has now already been changed to a Love and Peace campaign, so hopefully we'll be seeing even more friendly collabs between them in the future. Hey, maybe we'll get a joint popcorn machine next time. That's all the news for this week. Thanks for watching. Sorry about that. My tongue got twisted a few times there. Heavens. Line is back. Let's see here. Yeah, the other 20% is Takeshi Castle, probably. Hey, Becca. Good to see you. A lot of hard to pronounce Japanese names this time around too for some reason. All right, that's that. Now we're gonna try something. We're gonna try a thing, everyone. It's gonna be a thing. Thanks, Jaden. Let's try this. So, JJ, I'm gonna switch over, and we're gonna do some audio things here to try to get JJ's audio synced in a completely new way. And hopefully my computer doesn't freeze on us. So we're going to find out. Let me try this and that. So this is here. That is there. Actually, that might be better. Oh, that's fine. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the news. I'm going to, let's see here. JJ, can you hear me? And could you please try something? I cannot hear you. So that's a thing to start off with. I will unmute on your end. And I think it's kind of working in a way. JJ, you there? All right, hold on, folks. I'm trying to patch in the audio from that actually might work. No. I'm going to patch in the audio from JJ. And I may just need to switch that on. That is on. Oh, 1 second. I need an audio input capture. We tried to get this set up earlier, but unfortunately, we had some issues. So that's there. It's on, but it's not showing up in my audio mixer. That's odd. Why isn't that available in my mixer? 1 second. Doop. Doop. Huh. Okay, that's different. I have an audio for that. It's there, but how interesting. All right, we'll try something else. Hold on. We're going to try this. The audio is going to be voice meter. Ha-ha! We'll try that. JJ, are you there? No, you're not. Okay. Interesting. So I have you routed through. Let me just make sure on this end. Hold on, everyone. This doesn't work. We have other options, but I'd kind of like to do it this way. It would be kind of ideal. That is... Oh, hold on. Let's try this. Let me know, JJ, if you get any weird echoes. And we will try this. That is now outputting the voice meter. That's interesting. JJ, could you say something real quick? Wow. Okay. Huh. That should be coming in, but it's not. Wah, wah, wah. Okay. So my microphone is now working, but I still can't hear JJ, which is strange. JJ, let's try Discord and see if that works. Whoops. Whoa, 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 whoa. No, not that. Didn't want to show you all that. That's behind the scenes stuff. How dare us? All right. JJ still cannot hear you at all. Yeah, there's something funky going on audio-wise here. Let me just make sure I don't have. Yeah, you're not muted on my end. That's strange. Apologies, folks. It was working fine an hour ago, but for some reason it's decided that JJ just shouldn't speak. And I don't know why that would be. Maybe YouTube has just gotten tired of JJ? I don't know. Not my fault. Yeah. Could be something on JJ's end. Let me double check. Make sure I got nothing. It could also be something on my end where just one of my audio settings decided to mute everything. I'm gonna try pulling up my control panel, and of course we were having that technical issues before. Yeah, my control panel is not opening, so that's a good sign. And I'll double check my audio settings here. At least you guys can hear me. That's one problem solved. Everything else is turned off. That's strange. I'm gonna try something different. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Whoops. What's going on here? Hold on. Something weird just happened. You're connected. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, JJ, I just connected to you on my phone and I still can't hear you. So that isn't even on my computer and your audio isn't coming through. If you want to check the cables, make sure nothing got popped out. JJ will not be silenced. Hate when this happens. One of these days we'll have something all figured out. And again, I'm not an audio engineer, so we're just kind of stumbling through all this as best we can. Let me just double check. Yeah, my audio's up, and I can see and hear on the or I should be able to hear everything on the phone, but there's nothing. So yeah, that's a disappointment. Don't know what's going on there. Definitely seems to be something on that end. In the meantime, while we're playing around, hearing every few words, that's weird. How are you all doing? What's new in your lives? I actually have an idea I want to float past everyone and see what's going to happen. All right, JJ, we'll see if we can try it. Maybe after the stream, we'll see if we can't connect up and try poking a few things. My ship works better when I kick it. Weird. I have not seen Harukana receive. Looked cute, though. So I'm thinking of doing another segment either on this show or just as a YouTube video. And I'd like to get your all's ideas on it. I've been thinking a lot recently about the scientific method and about how we learn things and how we know things. Because I think a lot of times as fans, we make a lot of assumptions and beliefs based on just what we kind of stumbled across without having data behind it. And I think that some of that data exists, some of it doesn't. But whatever data we can find would be, it would be better to find data and base our opinions on data than on just what people claim on the internet, basically, right? So somebody says, "Oh, this show is incredibly popular." How do we know that? If somebody claims that the anime industry is doomed, how do we know that? Like, what are we basing those claims on? Do we have data, records, reports, things like that we can use? Obviously, not to prove that there's only so much you can do with any given chunk of data, but to start with, and to use as some kind of like a data point, a starting point. So I guess my question to all of you is, what are some of the assumptions that you see people make about anime, industry, fandom, you name it, that would warrant, that would be good to investigate? It would be good to find out, what is true, right? So one of the things that came up to mind lately is how animators are paid, right? What are the historical numbers for how animators are getting paid? We know it's low, but is that trend going up or down? What is their salary relative to the average Japanese salary, right? Like, what are the actual numbers there, as opposed to people just saying animators are poorly paid? What are some other things like that, though, that would be interesting to dig out? What makes a specific anime popular? That'd be interesting. I'm not sure how we find that. So I guess for sub versus dub, we could certainly talk about sales of sub versus dubs, right? Which one is, if people are buying dubs, then clearly they're working for some people. We could talk about, or we could learn about the process of making dubs versus the process of making subs, potentially. Folklore versus anime, what similarities as well as differences? Okay. Well, it's worth thinking about. So if you guys come up with some ideas, feel free to post them in the Discord. Feel free to throw some ideas on there, and we'll see what we can find out. Again, I just kind of like to dig into some numbers, some real numbers on some of these things, not base arguments on random people screaming on the internet, right? That's a good one, Jay. The cost of hand-drawn versus CGI. Japanese anime reception from the perspective of a Japanese fan. I hear you. That would be interesting to see what the general view is of anime in Japan. I think you could certainly find some articles around anime in Japan and what the tone of them are. None of this stuff is easily quantifiable. Experience of consuming anime, totally. I guess we'd have to as an interesting argument there, JJ. We'd have to kind of figure out what competition means, right, and how we would quantify whether one can compete with the other. Like Ben 10 is clearly doing quite well, right? But so is Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super. So what are the, how we quantify that? Any Japanese fans fluent enough in English to have that discussion on the show? I love that. How Japan views consumers from other countries is an assumption Japan cares little about foreign audience. Yeah, that'd be interesting to try to quantify, because obviously you're gonna, you can find someone who has an opinion, but it's, the what is the general view on consumption from other countries. I mean, I suspect that most people don't. So I guess the question is, do you mean like, do you mean like within the anime industry? Because I'm sure the average Japanese consumer doesn't really think about how Americans consume Japanese products. I'm assuming anime producers have some idea or have some thoughts around that. Yeah, I'd love to have a Japanese fan on the show. I would totally be up for that. I sadly do not have those connections right now. I'd also argue Japan certainly cares about like the Chinese audience, but you're right. Like we don't have information about that. You could certainly quantify things around popularity of genres. How many westerns, or I'm sorry, how many science fiction series are made, over time. Romance series, the trends of those. You can find some data there. Yeah, the thing, JJ, is how much does the average, American consumer consume of anime, right? It'd be really interesting to see just how big anime is in America, really. Why some countries have larger entertainment industries than other countries. Yeah, I don't think these are like quantifiable things, though, is the issue. Cost of production, that's a good one. Cost of production between like North America versus Japanese anime. We can definitely do some digging on that. That's a great one. The other question, of course, is success, right? Like, how do you define success in terms of exporting things? Yeah, Kira, if you can find someone, I'd love to get that perspective. Well, but your question is, why aren't there more countries successfully exporting their culture? How do you define a successful export? Simply producing it isn't exporting it, right? So maybe I'm misunderstanding your question, but there are productions being made all over the world. But if you're looking to see if they are making their way, to other countries, and then the popularity of that in those countries, I think that's the thing that's hard to quantify. Again, you could certainly find some measurements. I'm just saying you have to figure out what that means, right? Cause of censorship? That's an interesting one. Yeah, I'd love to see. I mean, Crunchyroll has released some very high level stuff. I actually was just writing this down this week. So this was a year ago, but they listed stuff like the top 20 most popular titles on Crunchyroll, top 10 anime, watched in Great Britain, top 10 anime watched in Mexico, that kind of stuff. But that's and it wasn't even ranked. It was just, here are the top 10. Yeah. Yeah. Cost of licensing is out there in aggregate. Like you say, we'll probably never get like specific stuff. Um, yeah. Well, fortunately, we have that stuff. We do have sales figures for DVDs. You know, the Oricon charts give us all that. So we could certainly dig into that stuff. I mean, ANN publishes the that, so that would certainly be discoverable. But then you have to, you know, count that against something. If you're talking anime specifically, yeah, it is annoying. And maybe it's a matter of, you know, reaching out to Crunchyroll and saying, "Hey, is there any data? How to escape American cultural hegemony?" Yeah, I don't think that's quantifiable. It's an interesting question, but I don't think that's quantifiable, sadly. Um, Thankfully, we live in a period where that's possible. There's tons of stuff out there. I'd love to have Robert Woodhead on Game Escape. If you can make that happen, that'd be great. Cost of physical is compared to digital sales. I'd love to see that too. That's a great one to dig into. So I'm not gonna. I'm trying not to sound bitter about this, but I have reached out to people in the past, and half the time, they have either said that's a great idea, or they've just not responded. And when I said that's a great idea, and then or when they said that's a great idea, and I've tried to get them on, it just they've never really gone any further. Um, so again, and I'm not saying that I now won't have anyone on the show. It's just unfortunately it's proven tricky to get guests on the show. But yeah, I think if you're into anime, you're already outside the orbit of American cultural hegemony. You know, you're already on that trajectory pretty well. Cool. Thanks, JJ. Appreciate that. Yeah, I was reading a book this week called Revolutionary Wealth, which is not about how to make money. It's about how the information age is fundamentally changing our relationship to wealth and kind of what wealth is. And talking about that one of the difficult things is that um, a lot of what we think we know about the world is based on old data, um, or based on what somebody said at some point in the news who may not have known what they're talking about. Um, so that's really interesting. Um, and it talks about how, like, you know, the if you want to know if something's true, like, the scientific method is the best way of doing it. Make a hypothesis, test it against reality, and I kind of like to start doing that to make hypotheses around the anime industry and anime fandom and such, and then test them against reality. Like, how do we know that's true? Or how can we test to see if that is true? Right? Yeah, piracy. That's a great one, JJ or Jay. Um, Censorship of anime? Interesting. Yeah, that's a good question. You definitely have to do something around, quantifying that. Because some people are going to argue that ADR is censorship, right? Because you're rewriting the dialogue to fit the lip flaps, and even if it's this equivalent language, it's censorship. Um, and then um, if you're cutting away from, so a good example is when Robotech came out, they would do things like removing this, you know, so if a character was going ha 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 ha, they would remove that from their stuff because the average 8-year-old had no idea what that is and it looked confusing. And so, you know, it wasn't censorship in the sense that they were, you know, removing nudity or violence or blood, or that they were trying to make it, you know, less Japanese. They were trying to make it, you know, more understandable for the average viewer. So that'd be interesting to kind of dig into. Interesting. So I'm going to copy and paste this. Cool. Thanks for the suggestions. If you have any more, feel free to let me know. Obviously, in lots of different places. But yeah, I'll see if we can't dig into something more along those lines. Cool. All right. So we've done. Let me just check my notes. Yeah. So we've done the news. I've talked about something I love. We chatted a little bit about most recent anime. And yeah, I think that will do it for us for tonight. JJ, let's see if we can't dig into that stuff. Oh, anime history. Thank you. Let me make a note. This is a tough one, folks. Welcome to This Week in Anime History, which is not a very fun week in anime history, sadly, but it is worth remembering. This week in anime history, back in 2008, saw the tragic Akihabara massacre. A young man drove a truck into Akihabara on Sunday when the streets were closed to vehicular traffic, which meant that pedestrians could walk around in the streets, hit a number of people, and then left the truck and went on a stabbing spree. 7 people were killed as a result of that attack, and many more injured. Akihabara was closed to pedestrian traffic on Sunday for the next 3 years. That being the same year that the perpetrator was sentenced in that. It was a very sad day. Akihabara is considered kind of otaku central in Japan, and it was a place where otaku could come and socialize, and because the streets were open to pedestrian traffic, it had a relaxing feel. It had a collaborative, you know, community feel, and the Akihabara massacre really injured that, and kind of broke the community for a little while because of how it just really made that group feel vulnerable. Very sad, tragic thing, and just remembering that happened. That was a thing. Akihabara has obviously recovered, you know, financially and so forth and so on. But yeah, this was a thing that really was a bad day in fandom lives, and a reminder that that tragedy can strike when you least expect it. No, this was not the Shoko Asahara. There's not a cult. This was a single individual who was disturbed and striking back for what he felt was a hopeless life, very sadly. I'm not aware that Westerners enforced nudity censorships in Japan after World War II, at least in the media. I'm not sure. I believe there was a general change in Japanese society. I'm sure that the nudity changes to views on nudity happened in general in Japan, partly as a result of the Americans after World War II, but also as a result of Japan opening up to the West in general, where, like, when the Tokyo Olympics happened, the idea of coming to a country where mixed bathing was common was very uncomfortable for folks. So Japanese society kind of shifted around to ignore a lot of that stuff, or to push a lot of that stuff away from the public. So as Japan became more and more a world power, that stuff became less and less acceptable. So I'm sure the Americans were a significant driver, but I don't know that they enforced it. I think that the enforcement was more or less internal to Japan. Yeah, I think it's mostly the whatever industry inside Japan is responsible for that. All right, so yeah, I think that will do it for us for tonight. Thank you all so much for being here and for being part of the show. I hope this was fun and entertaining and educational all at the same time. So yeah, hope you guys have a great week, and we will be doing this again next week as usual. And yeah, I think that'll do it for us. Thank you all very much. Have a great week. Until next time, watch more anime.